Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about the every method. So the every method is a method that is used for arrays, and the every method is such that it runs a condition on each and every element in an array, and if all those elements in the array matches that condition, then it returns true. But if it runs it and one element doesn't match that condition, then it returns false. Well, you won't understand what I'm explaining without some examples, so I'm going to be writing some codes to illustrate that. So I'm using the every method to check if actually all the elements in this array are even number. So I create a variable, call it is even, is equal to even numbers dot every, then I insert a callback function. Let me format it like this. Okay, then I go ahead to insert number in there, then I return the result of a boolean expression. Alright, let me explain what's happening here. This is an array of even numbers. That is this array. So we want to use the every method of arrays to know if indeed this array contains just even numbers inside there. So now I go ahead to insert. So I go ahead to insert a parameter. So this parameter happens to be the elements that we'll be considering at each iteration, because this every method iterates through each element in the array. So now what we are seeing here is that for each element in the array, evaluate this boolean expression and then return the value. So it's going to evaluate at each iteration. It's going to evaluate this. It's going to check if that number modulus 2 is equal to 0, and if it's equal to 0, it's going to return it. That is whatever we get from this boolean expression is going to return that value. So that's what happens here. So now this is the thing about the every method. So it keeps on returning true, and as far as it's true that is being returned, it's going to keep on running this code or this boolean expression on each and every element in this array. So the very moment it returns false, the very moment this expression yields false and then it returns false, then it's going to break the loop. It's going to stop execution, and then false will now then be returned to this is even. I don't know if you understand. Like what's happening here is that as far as this expression yields true, it's going to run this expression on every element in this array up to the last one, and if at all the elements in this array yields true for this expression, then once it's done with running this expression on each of these elements in this array, then true will not then be assigned as a value to is even. But if as it's running this expression on the elements of this even numbers, and then it happens to encounter a number that doesn't fit in, or that if it's used inside there it returns false, that means that number happens to be an odd number, then it's going to break the execution of this method, and then it's going to return false to is even. So that's pretty much what happens here. So I'm going to be console logging this is even to see what is going to give us. So I come over here and I do console log, then is even. All right, let's run that. Okay, so as you can see, it gives us true. So true in the sense that indeed every number here is an even number, and no number yielded false in this execution. So as such, true was assigned to is even. So what happens if I happen to put say 11 here? Now let's still run it, and now I get false. Okay, so what happens here is that it runs this expression, or this boolean expression, on each numbers of this even numbers array. But once it gets to 11 and 11 returns false, it's going to then return false. Once it returns false, once 11 is being used inside this expression and it gets false, or false is being returned there, then it's going to now then return false to this is even to this is even variable, and then false will not then be logged on the console. So that's what happens here. So this is usually how it's being used. This is actually the basic form of the every method used for arrays, but there are more variables you can insert inside this callback. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to duplicate this code. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to be commenting this one out. Okay, so now let's make use of this one. So now, apart from the elements in each iteration of the arrays, we can also have other variables. Other variables we can have in this callback is the index of the elements, then the array on which the every method is being called. That is, this array is simply this array, the array on which the every method is being called, and then a this argument. So I'm going to be inserting a this argument here. Usually this element, that the element that you insert inside here, it's usually an object. So this is an object that on which we can use the this keyword on, or is an object to which the this keyword always refers to. So now this is how it works. So when you're using the every method in its entirety, you will have to insert the number variable. Okay, you have to first of all insert a callback function. So this is the callback function. The callback function is, it starts from here and then it ends here, and then you have to insert an object. So now this callback function has still in its entirety, you have to insert number, index, and array. Remember these parameters here are optional, but this is compulsory. So you have to insert number, index, and array, and then having done that, you now then go ahead to write your expression that returns a boolean variable. And then, like I said, this happens to be an object to which the this keyword will refer to. So now I'm going to be should I say refurbishing? Now I'm going to be refactoring this code. So I'll remove this one, then I'll say return number modulos this dot even is equal to 0. All right, so like I said, this keyword refers to the check parameters. It refers to the check parameters object. So since it refers to that, that means you can say that this dot even is something as saying check parameters dot even. So check parameters dot even is simply 2. So it's actually the same thing as this line of code over here. I just did that so that I could illustrate how you can make use of the this object parameter in the every method. So now I'm going to be console logging this code to see what we get. So it should give us true if the code is correct. Oh, it gave us false. Okay, it's giving us false simply because we had 11 here. So if I happen to put 0 there to make it 10, we should get true, and yeah, it gives us true. So that's basically how it works. Okay, I have to show you guys how this one too also fits into the code. So like I said, this argument refers to the array on which it's called. So if I'm going to come over here and then console log something over here, console log. So I'm going to console log an element from this array argument, or from this array parameter, based on each iteration or based on its index. So I'll come over here and I'll say array then index. All right, so we're going to see the result of this code. So now let's run it. Okay, and now I happen to get, sorry about that, I happen to get, let me enlarge this a little. I happen to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and true. So you see that now these are the same elements that you can find inside the even number variable. So that's how it works. So this array always refers to the array on which the every method is called upon. So that's basically how the every method for arrays work. I hope you understand what I just taught in this video. If you don't, you can raise your complaints in the comment section, and if you liked and enjoyed the content of this video, please make sure you subscribe and you like the video. Thanks for watching.